Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be painting over this thing, so ignore this. There's no family. So I'm going to be sorry, I went a little fast with this. Christmas is around the corner, so I'm going to be painting this for my cousin. I'm going to have just like some kind of beautiful cow on it since she's kind of in the Western theme lately. So unfortunately this thing is like cardboard or thick paper, which means it runs the risk of warping whenever it's like wet and whatnot. So what I'm gonna do is put about 2 layers of white paint on it to get like a fresh, clean coat, and then I'm gonna switch over to watercolor and do it, so that way there isn't like a lot of layers compared to acrylic, because like, it's thicker paint, obviously. So I'm gonna be doing that, and then this rim right here, I'm going to be doing like a rustic kind of look to it, so I'll have it a light gray or something like that, and I'll have like whites that have been like streaked on it to make it look like it's been rubbed off, kind of a thing. You know how that old wood looks like. I bet like every mom has that type of style furniture somewhere in their house. So I'm not gonna be worried if I get paint on the rim, since that's gonna be the last thing I'm painting. Yeah. For some reason, I want to make the cow pink. Kind of like a strawberry cow or something. Which, I might go for that, might not. Depends. Because I've worked with watercolor a little bit. So, heck yeah, winging it over a present. That's my favorite. So now that you know what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be speeding this process up so you can see it in action. Without further ado, let's go! Good evening. Welcome back. As you see, I got a good layer of white on this, and you may also know there's a bit of pencil work. So let's do a little zooming in. I've got here drawn is a Texas Longhorn, which is this picture right here. You see I kind of did a line of where the pattern, the color meets a different color, kind of a thing. So we did that, and then I also got a few flowers here to kind of fill up the dead space. I also plan on like doing some kind of like circle blue background that kind of fades into white, to also add a bit of color to this, so it's not just white with picture. There's a bit of ness, I don't know. It's just more eye-pleasing to have a bit of a soft background than just straight white. And this white is also like very chunky because this type of texture does not work good with acrylic. Very few platforms do. Like wood and canvases, I believe, all work with acrylic, nothing else. So I'm going to be doing watercolor for this, and my prediction is that like this won't really, the water won't really affect the paint at all, this acrylic. But I am going to be careful and like watch it to make sure it doesn't like start getting soft and peeling apart and cracking and whatnot. So I'm just going to make sure that all layers are dry before continuing, and just, yeah, being very careful. So these here are my brushes I'm going to be using. I got like a bit of a rough fan, a softer fan, and then like a really rough brush here. I want to have a bit of like fur texture, so I'm using very rough brushes that would basically leave behind their strokes, you know, nothing that blends really, because you know watercolor can't really blend either, so woo, there's that. And then of course on the very sidelines, right here are my little colors. watercolors I haven't really used yet. So I'm going to be starting off with a base color, which is going to be the cream on the cow, just kind of like a little cream, so that'd be like very faded yellow. I'll have a layer on that, and then I'll start to slowly add in a little bit of brown to it, as well as making it a little bit redder, so that way it kind of blends in with this top here, the ears, as well as under the eyes. And I believe that would be a good start to it. And then I'll kind of brush in all these little black patches that are on the face, as well as part of the chest that I have drawn down here. And then of course I'll do the flowers and then the background. But we're just going to start with those 3 base colors and work our way with that. And then I'm going to touch like the nose, and then like the bottom lip, as well as the horns, because those are a bit of a different color. Yeah. So that's where I start off with. So now that you know what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be speeding this process up so you can see it in action. Without further ado, let's go. Alright, now that I got pretty much all of the face done, except for the little nose, I don't know why I'm stalling on that, but I am. I'm actually going to go ahead and start on the horns. So, the horns, I think, might be easy, but then again, I'm probably like jinxing myself. So, if you take a looky here on the picture, you can see there's actually like a bit of redness, or I guess a little bit more purple on the horns right here on the ends, and also like where they connect to the head. So I'll definitely be adding that, and then just kind of a bit of like this yellowy light brown here and here, you know. So yeah, you just gotta watch for these colors. I've already marked out kind of like the spots where the color changes. There's not a lot of blending here. It's kind of just the color, and then it's just kind of cuts off to the next color, which kind of cuts off to the next color. So the horns should be relatively easy compared to the face, which, you know, blending sucks. So, yeah, that's what I'll be doing for the horns. And then I guess I'll eventually get to the nose. The only thing I'd say is I don't know if I should go ahead and use like really concentrated colors to kind of add hair effects, you know, like a little bit of that to make it darker as well. So I don't know. Who knows? Depends on how the rest of the piece looks. Like, if it does look like it needs it really badly, I'll do it. But if, like, the flowers are going to turn out really light as well, then, I don't know, it kind of works with it, you know? So, yeah. So that's where I'm at. Now that you know what we're doing, I'm going to be speeding this process up so you can see it in action. Without further ado, let's go! Alright, hello, welcome back. So as you can see, I did the horns, which are looking pretty good. Next, I'm gonna be finally doing the nose. I don't know why I pushed it off for so long, probably because I kept forgetting about it. And then I'm gonna be touching on the flowers. Now the flowers, I'm gonna try and keep them all warm color, just so that they really pop, because the background's gonna be blue, which is a cool color, so like, you know, contrast, woo. So, for these, of course, they're going to be yellow, because they're kind of like, you know, sunflowers, baby sunflowers. And these little tiny ones, I don't know what color they should be. Kind of feeling some pink, so I might do that. And then these smaller ones right here and here are going to be orange. So I was kind of starting up my computer as well. Here we are. Yeah, and then if we take a zoom to one of these flowers here, you can see like there are layers of petals here. So what I'm going to be doing is kind of basically like the front layer is going to be the lightest, and then these ones are going to be darker yellow. And instead of just like, you know, actually making it darker, I'm going to be adding a bit orange to it so that it has a bit of color to it, but it also shows that it's darker. Because in reality, if you actually make yellow darker, it just turns brown. Which, works well on animals, but I don't think it works very well on flowers. Normally they have a lot of pigment is what makes them very beautiful. So I'm going to be doing that. And then, which is kind of like applying the same principle with these other colors down here. Oops. In the front. So if I do pink is a little bit easy. You just add a little bit of red into it and it makes it hot pink. And then bada bing bada boom, different color. And orange also has the same idea of like adding a little bit more red to make it darker. So it's a little bit like a reddish orange I'll be doing. So yeah. And then for the stems here, on all of them, I think I'll just do like an off green. Kind of like one of those camo greens. It's like kind of gross looking. So, yeah. I'm going to be attempting that on this round. And now that you know what I'm doing, I'm going to be speeding this process up so you can see in action. Without further ado, let's go! Okay, now that I'm finally painting the cow, and I outlined it, you're thinking, oh, I'm done now. No, I gotta paint the frame. Yeah, so what I'm going to be doing is doing some kind of like light gray to kind of match this tone of just faded colors. I'm going to do a light gray. And then every so now again, I'll have like white kind of like smudged on it to make it look slightly antique, but just artistically cute kind of thing. So I guess we could talk about the piece and how I feel about it so far, since like this is the main part where everyone's gonna be looking at. So honestly, this hasn't turned out at all what I was hoping for. Probably because I wanted it a lot more realistic, like the photo. So the fact that it came out like this very soft, artistic Texas Longhorn cow is a lot different from what I was expecting. And honestly, I'm really happy that I like flowed with it instead of trying to make things more realistically. Like, I got this splotchy background which works with like what's happening with the cow, as long as with some kind of like messy looking flowers, you know, here. So I'm really happy that I decided to just kind of flow with whatever the cow looked like, instead of trying to like keep going at it to try and make it look what I wanted it to look like. I just made it look like what it's coming out to be. And I guess from this, it was a really eye-opener to like figure out, like, I haven't done much watercolors, but whenever I do, I always make it extremely light than what the actual photo is, of like whatever my reference is. So, yeah, so I guess either that is like something I need to work on, or that's kind of just my style. Which I'm fine with it. So, before I get started painting the frame, I'm going to go through the cow as well as the flowers and erase any pencil line I see. If the pen kind of covers up the pencil line, I'm not going to worry about it, because I don't want to risk erasing the watercolor. You know, because of how light it is, it could just easily just fade away even more. So that's what I'll be doing. And now that you know what I'm going to be doing for the frame, as well as for like the rest of the piece, you can see it in action. So without further ado, let's go! Alrighty. I'm finally done with it. So as you can see, I painted the frame. I just did a little bit of the whiteness. I didn't want to like overboard it. So it's very soft, kind of, you know, barely sanded looking, scraped. I went ahead and also put my signature down there, because, you know, gotta credit the artist. I tried erasing some of the pencil lines, but that was honestly taking away too much of the paint, so I decided just to leave it and let it be a part of the artwork. Honestly, I'm pretty satisfied with how it looks. And I'm pretty happy that it turned out, even though it wasn't how I wanted it to turn out. It still turned out very beautiful. So I'm happy to give this away as a Christmas gift. Yeah, so that is honestly about it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!